CES 2024. We are live from the Stagwell Content Studio. My name is Robyn Freye, and I am the Chief Growth Officer for North America for Stagwell, and I am so excited to be joined by the 2023 WNBA 2023 champs, the Las Vegas Aces. Today we have Blair Hardiek as well as Matt Delsen. I'd love to just start by opening up and learn a little bit more about your roles as well as the Las Vegas Aces.
Sure. I am the Las Vegas Aces Chief Operating Officer and Chief Financial Officer. Been in that role for quite some time since Mark Davis acquired the team in 2021. This is our third season, two of which we won a championship. But my duties are mostly to oversee the business as a whole, the operations of the business, as well as the entire financial function. So they cross over on a regular basis, but kind of wear a lot of hats. So
Wonderful.
He's being very modest. Matt wears two large hats as COO and CFO, but a million hats on top of it. I'm Blair Hardiek, as she mentioned, CMO for the Las Vegas Aces. Been here 2 years and actually hired by Matt Delsen, also Mark Davis, Nikki Fargas. But you know, branding the Aces in the community around the world is such a privilege. We have players at the height of their game, and just really excited to be here and to spread the word of the Aces. And it obviously helps when you win two back-to-back championships. Everything is easier, but it's just a pleasure to work in the game that I know and love for an owner like Mark Davis.
That's wonderful. And just from, spending some time with you earlier today, I can tell that you have such a wonderful relationship, but you have two roles, which has a lot of dualities, and then having a CMO alongside with those two roles. I'd love to hear about how you work together to achieve so much success.
Well, there's a lot more between the two of us. We, on the personal side, we both have children the same age that go to the same school. But we also, when we set out to build our staff, right? When we acquired this team, we wanted a family environment. So we really hand selected the folks that came on board, Blair being one of the first, and it's been a great relationship ever since. It was very important that we were going to have close communication. The marketing efforts of this franchise was everything, right? So as far as everything operational, we knew that we were going to make heavy investments into fan engagement, fan interaction, but we also knew that we had to market said efforts, right? So we knew that when we brought Blair in that we were going to have this close overlap, because anything that we were making this push for, we needed to let the fans know about it. So our motto was, once we got you into the building once, now it's our job to keep you, but we needed to get you there first. And now, fast forward two and a half years, 3 seasons, we're leading the league in attendance, leading the league in ticket sales, leading the league in essentially every aspect of the game. So we're very proud of that, but a lot of that speaks to Blair's efforts.
Yeah. That's so wonderful, and you can tell that success is definitely rooted in the foundation and the culture of your organization. But with that, sports and women's sports is becoming a very crowded category, and I personally feel you're leading the way with your marketing. Blair, can you talk a little bit about your marketing programs and how you're helping to break through that clutter?
Sure. Well, being in a city like Las Vegas, clearly we have a lot of great sports teams, period. But us being the only female professional sports team, I think it's interesting being in basketball as well. You're not wearing a helmet. So our players are very visible when you come to a game or you see us, on TV. You mentioned viewership. Viewership is up year over year, just crazy. But we want to make sure that fans, not only in Las Vegas, but around the world, know who A'ja Wilson is. You look at her and you see her as a role model.
Yep.
Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, our list goes on of fantastic women, but making sure that they're the ones that are visible. Matt says all the time, people don't fall in love with a company or a brand, you fall in love with people.
Yeah.
So making sure whether it's on our billboards, commercials, merchandise, everything, that our players are, first and foremost. But Mark Davis really values our players, and you see that through his investment. We're the only professional, team in the W that has a dedicated facility, our Aces headquarters, just for our team. So we don't share it with, a men's team, but the way he has led this march in terms of literally putting his, money behind these women is just amazing.
Yeah.
But to go back to it, really, like, our players are what people want to see on the court. They want to see in the community, and we make sure we bring those players into the community as well. So it's a shared love, but they're awesome to market and just ultimate personalities too.
Yeah, we've also done a really good job, I think, on the storytelling aspect, right? Because our players are visible, we want to go deeper. And I think as you look into other sports, there's a separation between access, right? There's less access to the celebrity player. Well, we have the ability to, provide that access a little bit differently than you see in the NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA, etc. And we brought in a whole production crew that works with our marketing team to bring our players to life and really show and give a different feel to who they are as individuals.
That's wonderful. And I loved what you were talking about, community and the Las Vegas community and just being here, for CES and then next month for the Super Bowl. It really is becoming a hub for sports and entertainment. Can you talk a little bit about what makes Las Vegas so special?
Vegas is a different place. It's, I'm from San Diego originally. So for me, coming out here, I've been coming out here my whole life, but there's two sides to Las Vegas. There's the side that those that are traveling in see, but then there's also the local market. And that, I think, makes it a little bit different. The tourist aspect of it being just the destination that it is provides a massive gathering and an appeal. But there's also a local market here that I think a lot of folks aren't realizing is really building. So the two of those things, it's very difficult to break in sports. It's very competitive because you are competing with everything else that is here. It's the entertainment capital of the world.
Yep.
But I think people are really searching for even more entertainment and more variety. And with that, it provides and lends for a good home for yet another sports team. And so if we can give that to folks, these are seasonal sports, so there's some overlap, but at the same time, there's variety and they're not playing right on top of each other. There's something all year round for you to do. Yep. So again, I think there is room. We're excited to see what continues, but we got to stay competitive with the market and our offering as far as entertainment to make sure that people are seeking us out and they want us as an option.
Great. Well, let's quickly switch gears over to CES, right? We just finished our floor tour. I'm very excited. What are some of the trends, Blair, that you took from the floor tour? Maybe what was one of your most favorite thing that you experienced?
Well, we were lucky enough to be here last year as well, but seeing not just the change, but the evolution and activations that are inside of there. I could list a lot, but one thing I really want in my home at ACES headquarters is that LG screen. Just state of the art, can put it anywhere, but just it makes it feel like you're inside of the screen, inside of the moment that you're seeing on it. But speaking from our lens, VisionWorks was really cool with the spinner and the hologram. And I think as we're walking through CES, making sure that we're looking at it from a business angle, and there's a lot of B2B that goes on in there, but how can we use some of those elements to better the Las Vegas Aces? And a lot of what comes to my mind is fan engagement. Yep. What are fans really going to gravitate to, and how do we continue to innovate and be different and really continue to grow the game?
Yep.
Yeah, I would say also, to add to that, which I think we were huddled up talking about every different display and thing that we saw and how can we utilize this or how would this be relevant to us. But we also have to understand what's happening and fan behavior, right? So understanding what's coming before it actually makes its way to market, we start sniff out where our fan, the average person, is going from a day-to-day use of technology. And if we don't understand that, then we're not going to shift with the tides when these new technologies actually come into play. I mean, there's all sorts of technology throughout, CES that we saw here today that's just in the home.
Yep.
Well, that's going to change behavior, and the individual's behavior is also going to change because inside their home, they're so used to doing something this way. Now it's going to start to flow outside and into our arena. And if they're used to certain access or certain information that we're not giving them fast enough, then we can easily fall behind. So I think there's, a lot of interesting takeaways. I definitely feel like this year was very beefy. Yeah. I feel like we got a lot out of this, and It was very, very impressive to see what was out there. There was pros and cons. Some of them, I think, the technology slope is very slippery. There's a few of them that I could see great application, but also the genesis, like we talked about. How is that going to be applied, and where is that going to be seen, and what does that mean for a more global, scope of how we talk about going green? Is that in conflict with going green because it's taking the moisture out of the air? But then again, there's a lot of opportunity here for us to bring certain activations into our building, and some really good takeaways.
Wonderful. Well, Blair, Matt, thank you so much for joining us in the Content Studio. Always a pleasure. We'll be rooting for you for this year, and just can't wait to see what you do next. And let's make sure to do this next year.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.